Around the 17th and 18th century, just after Europe had its Renaissance, Mongolia had a renaissance of its own. It was in part spurred on by some scholars returning from India and Tibet with a lot of texts, and it was made very influential because Mongolian monasteries started using woodblock printing technology from China. So I'll run down some of the people who helped revolutionize Mongolian science, literature, and art, starting with Senpai Yeshil. Now, he lived in the 18th century and was a scientist, astronomer, and historian, and some of his most important works included a complete history of Indian and Tibetan and Mongolian Buddhism, and he wrote one of Mongolia's first ever pharmaceutical books. Otherwise, there was Mingatu. Mingatu was around at the same time, and he learned science in the Ming court. He was taught by Chinese and European scholars, but afterwards he began pursuing a few fields in science and maths. For instance, he charted Western China, and he calculated, let me get this right, the infinite series expansion of trigonomic functions, but I have no idea what that is. Otherwise, before them, there was Zaza Bazar, and he's been called the Asian Michelangelo because of his religious art. He built a lot of Buddhist statues and even created a Buddhist art school, but he also created the Soyorabo alphabet, and this is the alphabet which produced the symbol on the Mongolian flag. And he made a few advances in science and was a political player during the Qing invasion of the Ming. Otherwise, during this time period, there were some important works written. For instance, there was Odin Topchi. This was a complete list of Mongolian laws, and Altan Topchi. This was a complete chronicle of Mongolian history. Plus, there were epic literature tales like Kanja and Tanja. There were two other alphabets created, Tobo and Gaelic. And there was also the first ever permanent structures built here in Mongolia. They were monasteries, but it was also the birth of Mongolian architecture.